Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Time for another Metal Earth kit build. Today I'm doing another Star Wars kit, another Disney exclusive. I have the Starspeeder 1000. I think this was also part of the Star Tours ride at Disneyland, and I believe this is the ship that the Rex pilot droid piloted. Not real certain. I've never been to any of the Disney parks. If you know more about it, feel free. Please leave them in the comments down below so I can learn more about it. But what I do have is this kit and the time to put it together. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Starspeeder 1000. Let's see if we can do a better job with this one without tearing up the instructions. Maybe. What feels like 2 pieces of paper for the instructions and 2 metal sheets. Oh, I am clumsy already. Let's put this aside. Open up the first sheet of instructions. We have the usual start with the Metal Earth 3D metal model kits, 360 view, blah blah blah, the line drawing, MMS 264. We have a bit about insertion tabs and insertion holes, fold lines, and that whatnot right there. You know, needle nose pliers are helpful for assembly. We have down here the legend. If you see an E, that's generally pointing to the engraved side. Or I should say that is pointing to the engraved side. NE is pointing to the non-engraved side. And a tension point. You see a little hand. It's trying to let you know something important. Maybe a hole needs to be in a certain place or a part needs to be lined up this way. Sometimes there'll be an accompanying text that will explain why you should pay attention. And here we have what I always consider the legend. The blue circle, when you see that, it means to fold the tab over 90 degrees. The green triangle means to twist the tab 90 degrees. And then at the bottom we have our layout of our 2 sheets with all the part numbers so that you can find those parts on the sheets. We have a few items that are colored in. Basically, when you see an item of the same color, that is an identical item. It's used in more than one place. They'll have one numbered, for instance 23 pointing to the purple item here. There's a purple item here, it doesn't have a number, that's also 23. We slide over to page 2 and start the assembly flowchart with part 1, part 2 times 2, and follow through, and then jump down here and we go on part 3, and it shows you how to fold, and just follow the directions, the sub-assemblies, get all the way to the bottom, flip it over for page 3, same story, just add the parts, fold and shape, slide over to page 4. After that, continue following the arrows, pay attention because sometimes they go across, 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 sometimes they go and down and back. Once you're done with the first sheet, we have another sheet. Pick up on page 5, follow the arrows, assemble and shape the parts. Page 6, much of the same. This one's a bit kooky. And then page 7 and page 8, and you get to the bottom and you have your completed Metal Earth model. Let's talk tools. I have a pretty standard set of tools that I use in most every build. I have needle nose pliers. I have flat nose pliers. I have flush clippers. These are a must for me. They clip parts off the sheets quickly and cleanly. I have a set of precision tweezers, one with a very pointed end, one with the pointed end ground down slightly, and a flat set with a sort of curved tip, useful for twisting tabs in slightly curved areas. I also have a pretty standard set of tweezers with a flat angled end. These come in one of the Iconics kits, and I use them a lot. When it comes to shape and rounded parts, there are many options. I used dowel rods for a long time. I sharpened the ends of 2 of them with a pencil sharpener. These 2 are great for making cone shapes. Another option is a cheap drill bit set. This set has quite a few different sizes to choose from. Another option is a set of step mandrels. Ring pliers or round nose pliers can be found with jewelry making tools and work wonderfully for curving delicate and or hard to get to areas. Curved needle nose pliers to me are very useful for bending over longer thin areas that have obstructions that keep regular needle nose pliers from getting to them and being helpful. They can also be handy in tight places. We've glanced at our instructions, we've got our metal sheets, talked about some tools. Let's build it. This tiny Astromech droid has more parts than usual. I use the rounded end of a paintbrush to form the head of the Astromech droid. I like that the etched marks on all of the side pieces are also in the directions and also clearly marked or etched on the side of the model. It's a great help in keeping the similarly shaped parts from getting mixed up. Be sure to bend these 3 tabs and not twist them. As always, bending tabs so that they point to the next connection helps things to line up. When the tabs are at odd angles and sticking outward, the end of the tabs will not easily line up with the slots. To get the tabs to line up on the side, you might need to bend some of the roof panels a little more or a little less to stretch things out or shorten them up. The top piece was blocking the tab from fitting through the slot. This video has been edited down. I've not shown all the different attempts, adjustments, or retries of this build. I also clip out parts where I am studying directions, searching for and clipping parts, and sometimes repetitive steps. It may make this kit look like it comes together easier than it did, but there are a lot of bending and adjusting of parts to make things fit. Work slowly, be patient, and take your time. I forgot to fold over the two tabs on the back wall, but I figured that out later. The Starspeeder 1000, all done. Much like Pilot Droid Rex, I haven't had the opportunity or the benefit of seeing this ride in person. It was not a difficult kit. It did take around 2 hours. It didn't feel like it took around 2 hours. The hardest part is a little R2 or Astromech droid, which I believe it is R2. It's more pieces to it. It's actually 4 pieces of that little guy, as you saw. You've watched the video. The X-Wings were not that in depth, so it was a bit tricky to get those little tiny pieces curved and put into place. Not that that's anything new, but that makes it the most difficult part of this kit. The rest of it's just a lot of angles. These side panels, really straightforward and simple. Bend the tabs, put them in place, but there are so many, it takes time. Getting the angles right on the top and bottom, a little bit tricky, but it just takes time, but it's not particularly hard. There's not a lot of difficult shaping except that R2. It's a pretty neat looking model, and I can see now that looking at it, the way it kind of steps up towards the back, it's definitely made to be a movie theater, little closed in movie theater, because each step is higher, because each row is higher than the one before it. My Star Wars Metal Earth collection is once again complete, at least for now, because they are getting ready to release 4 new models, and I look forward to having those very soon actually. But it's all built. I'll stop there. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.